This is the first in a series of tutorials covering how to create a flexible card component with Etch. I don't know of any other builders that allow this much flexibility. So all of these are a single component with different settings and options. So we have left aligned with a photo, we have center aligned with text and a badge, we have balanced and unbalanced layouts, and we could have added anything up here, we could add anything down here, and we could also add anything in here. So those are using slots, which we will cover in a future tutorial in this series. Today we're going to cover properties, and conditions. So let's get started. The first thing we'll do is we will add a section, and we don't want our cards to be full width, so we are going to, in this container, give it a class of grid3. This is a class that AutomaticCSS gives us that will set up our grid, and from there we can start working. So we'll add a new div for our component wrapper, and inside of that we want a heading, some text, and a link. Now we won't do the avatar in this particular video, we'll cover that in the next video. So we will add a heading, text, and a link. And look at that, I did not have the div selected when I added those, so it added them in the container. So we'll just drop them in here. And our link, and I didn't put them in the right order. There we go, heading, text, link. Next, we will save this and look at it on the front end, and there we have it. It's looking pretty bland. Next, let's turn on automatic card styling from AutomaticCSS, which here we have AutomaticCSS, which can control all sorts of stylings, but in this case we're looking at cards, and we're going to turn on automatically style cards. The card framework also has to be turned on. If we automatically style cards, these styles will be applied to any class names that include the word card. So if you turn that on, you have to be careful about what you name your classes so you don't accidentally get these styles. But in this case, we want them. So we will call this avatar card, and then we will create BEM classes, which will apply classes to all of our sub-elements as well. So if we click on, well, you can see them all here. Avatar card heading, text, avatar card link. And now if we save, we should be able to see the styles being applied automatically, and there they are. Next, we can add some, we can turn this into a component, and we want the heading text, the paragraph text, and link text and URL to all be editable, and so they can be different for each component. So we need 4 properties for that. All text properties, and we'll call the first one heading, the second one text, the third one link text, and the fourth will be link URL. Now there are 2 ways to set this up. The first is to do it manually. So we'll do that for the heading. Instead of our default insert your heading here, we want to use the heading property that we have set up here. So to do that, we will go and add props dot heading. There we go. The other way to do it is to click on populate default. Now this does two things. So you click on it, and now whatever you click on over here, it will tie it to your property. It'll take whatever's here and put it in the default value and connect them up. So in this case, we want it to go here. So you see it puts props.text in here, and it puts our default value in here. We'll do that for this as well. And you can't do that really for the link URL, so we'll go back to doing that manually. We'll replace this with props.link URL. And we will save that and look at it in the front end. Now, we didn't have any default text because we did that one manually, so we didn't get the automatic insertion of our text here over to here. So if we were to add some default text, then we would have a heading. But in this case, we don't actually want any default text because we only want to display each element if we or the user actually adds something. So we'll delete all of these, save. And now we have an empty card. However, there's one problem. If we inspect it, we have an empty H2, an empty paragraph, and an empty link, which we don't want empty HTML elements in here. Especially once you start styling them, they might have borders or whatever, and you'd be in a bad spot if they were empty. So to remedy that, we will use conditions. So Etch lets us add conditions pretty much the same way we add elements. So if we click this, well, we need to actually add it inside of our card. So we have to edit the component, and now we can add our conditions. We'll add one for each element, and then we will drop our elements inside the conditions. Text will go in the first condition, or heading in the first, text in the second, and link in the third. So now let's edit this condition. So see, we have this if statement here and the HTML here, and what we want to do is take props.heading from here and put it right into our if statement. So this is saying if the user has added a heading as one of the properties, go ahead and display this whole thing. But if not, don't even display the HTML. And we'll do the same thing here with our condition. We will put props.text, and for the link, we will use props.linkText. I don't actually know if it's possible to use and or to do both of these at the same time, so we'll just stick with this for now. Now, if we save, we should still see the card, but there should be no HTML inside, and that is what we get. So there's our card, and there's nothing inside of it. If we add a heading and some text, and some link text, and save, these are the properties that we created, as you can see. And once again, I forgot to nest things properly. Our if statements didn't actually get inside of our avatar card, they're sitting outside. So we'll move them inside. And there we have it. Now, the nice flexible thing we have here is if we get rid of one of these because we don't need it, it will automatically be removed and it will not show up in the HTML. And save that. I was not trying to edit it. Let's duplicate it because we don't actually, they don't all have to be the same. They can all have different different properties available. So this one has a link, this one has some text, and that's how properties and conditions work.